cat people, how are you today? I am Catlady Antigoni, and today I'm talking about the most unique palettes in my collection, part 2. Well, if you have watched the video from previous week, you already know what we are doing in this series. If not, don't worry, I'm gonna explain you very shortly. Well, I'm going through my palette collection and I'm showing you the most unique or beautiful palettes according to my opinion, and my basic criterion here is their packaging. If the packaging has something unique, something extra, something more beautiful than the average, then I have included this palette into these videos. Well, of course, I do not want to put any pressure on you to buy more palettes, to buy more stuff. I just want to have fun by showing you my own personal collection, and since it's a thing that makes me super happy, I just would like to share some positivity and some good vibes with you. Well, a lot of the palettes that you will see both in today's video and a lot of palettes you have seen already in previous week's videos are discontinued, unfortunately. So again, no need to worry, no need to feel any type of negativity. We are here to chat about ideas, color schemes, and in general formulas, how things were kinda like before some years and how things are nowadays in makeup. Well, another thing that I would like to mention here is that the previous video we have seen palettes which were very old, I mean like more than 3 years old. In today's video I'm gonna show you some more contemporary palettes. A lot of them are discontinued, but all of them, I think they are 1 or almost 2 years old. I'm trying to do the math in my head. It's not that easy because I have to consider each of the palette that I'm gonna show you. But anyway, without any further ado, let's start! The first palette from today comes from Glamlight, and I'm gonna tell you about the Ice Cream Sundae palette. Well, look at the packaging. It's a truck, it's an ice cream truck, and I just love it. I know it's bulky, it's not very travel friendly, but this is not the goal for today's video. Well, if you see the palette, it's even more beautiful. It has a huge ice cream with sprinkles, and I love doing this thing. It gives me so much happiness. I think it's one of the 2 palettes that you will see in this video that is still available. At least it's available in Europe. I don't know if you can find it in America. Anyway, let's see the palette and the color scheme. It contains a lot of matte eyeshadows and a lot of pastel eyeshadows as well, which I love having kinda like pastel mattes. I had the pastels from Beauty Bay, but since I'm about to finish this palette, I feel that there was a big gap in my collection, and this palette came to fill this gap. I love the color scheme, it's super clever, and it brings me a lot of happiness because it's so bright and beautiful, and it reminds me of spring. Spring, if you didn't know, is the season that I've been born. I've been born in May, and for this reason, it's my favorite season. Now, when it comes to the quality, you know how much I love Glamlight. I think Glamlight is my favorite brand when it comes to eyeshadows. This palette is no exception to the rule. The eyeshadows are phenomenal. I love all of them. I have tried almost all of them, and I'm super happy with the quality. If you're wondering why this palette looks new though, it's because I recently updated it and I still try to experiment a little bit, but I have tried almost all the eyeshadows at least 1 time. Next palette is actually a collaboration. NYX Professional Makeup collaborated with La Casa de Papel, and they gave us this masterpiece. I love how much they paid attention to the detail when it comes to the packaging. They have the mask, it's so beautiful, it's Dali here. I love this kind of art, and I love how artistically they kind of organized the full palette in order to have the shape, and everything is kind of matching very harmonically in my opinion. Now, when it comes to the actual color scheme, well, it's not the first thing that I have in mind when I'm thinking about my personal style and my personal makeup, because usually I prefer to have a lot of bright colors on my daily makeup and in my collection in general. But I've been trying this palette quite a lot of times, and although that you might say that it's kinda neutral-ish palette, actually it offers some very beautiful alternatives, like these beautiful burgundies right here, this shimmery green. Actually it has some amazing toppers. I'm astonished by the quality. I know that every time NYX Professional Makeup is doing a collaboration, the quality is sky high, so I didn't have any doubts about it. Something that I forgot to tell you before and now is that I have a dedicated tutorial about this palette and about the ice cream palette as well, so if you're interested, I will try to have a link down below, or for sure I will try to include some cards so you can go there and watch a full tutorial dedicated to these beautiful palettes. At this point I would like to tell you that if you're curious about the makeup that I have on my face today, I have filmed a step-by-step tutorial, and it's the video where I'm doing a get ready with me while I'm talking about how and why I came to Sweden. I will try to remember. I'm doing a seriously hard job here to remember everything, which is extremely hard for me, to remember to have kinda like a link or something, a card, whatever, around here or down in the description box. If I forget, please leave a comment down below and remind me. The next palette is again a collaboration, this time between Revolution Makeup and the Grinch. Well, I'm talking about actually the official Grinch palette, and let me show you. It has kind of this vegan false fur and I love it. It's so unique. I haven't seen anything similar in my life when it comes to palette and makeup packagings. Look how beautiful it is. When you look at it, it's the perfect Christmas theme without actually being that Christmassy, like red, green, some mattes, some browns, and that's it. No, they actually have put effort to curate this, according to me, perfect color scheme. I mean, look at this burgundy shimmer. It's amazing! Also we have this dark green, these two purples here, and I just love it. I didn't have the chance to try it yet, but I'm planning to do it very soon because I have some very interesting ideas and I didn't really want to rush because I feel that this palette needs its own time. I wanted to come up with a quite unique idea, to sketch a look inside my head and on a paper, and then to come out with as many colors from this color scheme as possible, because they are so kind of tempting. I would like to try them all if it was possible. It's not, and I don't feel that's gonna be that exciting of a look if I just include all the colors in this, but I have something nice in my head. A little detail here, it says I had fun once, it was well. I mean, I love this kind of little details that they have on the packagings or on the carton box, like here. Oh, where was it? Yeah, the mean one here. I feel that paying attention to detail is everything, and it gives me kind of like serious vibes when a company really wants to curate a collection or a palette or whatever, a product, and bring out the best from it. The next palette has a completely different vibe, more goth, more vampy, and I'm telling you about the makeup for Recently Immortals from Lovelace Cosmetics. Lovelace Cosmetics is actually a Swedish indie brand which specializes in goth-like makeup. And I mean, look at this palette. This is a coffin. Oh my god, I love it so much. I feel that this palette is super unique. I don't know if I have seen something similar, but I know for sure that I don't own anything similar with this palette. It's such a pretty palette. When it comes to the color scheme, it contains a lot of neon colors and these beautiful purples and red and this shimmery red, which is quite difficult to find, to be honest. Here it has a mirror and it says, "Where is my reflection?" Oh my god, I love it. I love it so much. I was watching a video where the owner was explaining everything about the idea behind this palette, and basically she said that she kinda combined the Beetlejuice world with vampires, and this is what she came out with. I mean, this is genius. I love it. I love the aesthetics, and I get Beetlejuice vibes, of course, by looking at this area here. So clever palette. Again, it's not the most travel friendly, although that is quite thin if you look there, and I don't mind, to be honest. I'm not planning to travel with this palette. If I do, I will enjoy for sure the colors, and I don't find it that big of a hassle to travel with it. But I mean, it's a matter of preference, so I can understand people saying that they might have some difficulties. Now, when it comes to the actual quality, it's very nice, very nice, and I wish that this palette was apart from their permanent collection and not just a limited edition thing, because according to my opinion, they have done a beautiful job here. Did you think that I will not include Colourpop in one of my palettes video? Well, no, this is not gonna happen, at least not today. Well, the next palette is obviously from Colourpop, and it's the collaboration that they have done with Sailor Moon. This is the palette basically, and you might ask, what's special with this palette? Well, look at it, it's 3D, wow! And also another special thing, at least for me, about this palette is that this palette was a gift from my best friend Aphrodite for my birthday, and I appreciate it a little bit more. Obviously, this is not the reason why this palette is in the video. Basically, the reason is this amazing 3D surface. I don't know if you can see it at the camera. I try to make it possible for you to understand what it's doing, and you might say, yeah, but there are so many palettes with this same technology. Well, back in the day that this palette was released, this was quite innovative. And I think that this palette was the first palette from a well-known brand that used this technology, and then others followed. I don't think that nowadays this type of packaging is that unique, but I still love this palette, and it's the only one that I own with this kind of effect. And actually, when it comes to the color scheme, I feel that it's very representative of Sailor Moon the series and Sailor Moon herself. I mean, I can definitely imagine her wearing all these kind of like pinks and yellows and light purples. It's so dreamy as a palette. I have used it quite a lot. I'm very happy with the quality. I don't know why I'm doing a review for you. I don't think that you can find it nowadays, but it was quite impressive because Colourpop kind of kept this collection for 2 years, and 2 years for a limited edition collection is quite a long time, so I think that this palette was sold out a lot of times for a good reason, and I can definitely understand their decision. And now it's time for the Greek word of the day. Well, I was telling you about the 3D cover of the Sailor Moon palette, and that's why I'm gonna tell you the Greek word for 3D. Well, in Greek it's a little bit more difficult than the 3D word, but I'm gonna try to make it as simple as possible for you. Well, in Greek we say trisdiastatos. Say with me, trisdiastatos. Trisdiastatos. As always, I'm gonna ask you to try to write a comment down below using the word trisdiastatos, or actually tell me the word in your own native language. Last but not least palette for today is the Worldy palette from P. Louise. I don't know how familiar you are with P. Louise as a brand, but they have created quite a lot palette with these designs, but this is the only one that I own. It's a very bulky and heavy palette. I mean, this is my head, this is the palette for comparison. It's a big palette, but I love the world map here. I love this kind of, I don't know how to say and describe this basically, but I love these little particles and I love the sound that they make. Listen, please, listen. It can be a great ASMR. When it comes to the palette, it's pink, I love it, and let me show you the color scheme if I can open it. Here we have a compass as well, it's super cute. Also, I have filmed a tutorial about this palette as well, so if you would like to see some inspiration about this color scheme right here, it exists. Here the plastic says Worldy, and I love details like this. As I have already told you, we have a big mirror, and I love this kind of fabric stuff that they have to hold the lid, kind of like that. I love these details. The actual color scheme is based on blue, green, some brown colors, and some unexpected choices like this orange right here, this dark, is it brown? Grayish brown? Something like that. I love it. It's a little bit random, as I love my color schemes to be, because I feel that color schemes like that give me a lot of inspiration and I love working with them a lot. The quality is nice, is not the best quality out there, but all in all I enjoyed this palette. I don't know if I'm gonna invest in anything else from P. Louise. I mean, it's super bulky. I don't have that much space in my my room. But all in all, I feel that this palette is bringing something new to the market. I don't think that this palette is for everyone, but some people like me, I would say, will find it very, very interesting. And that was it. This was our video for today. Thank you so much for staying with me and watched another video from this channel. I appreciate you a lot. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. Everywhere my username is Catlady Antigoni, and I will be very, very happy to see you there. Well, see you on Monday with a makeup tutorial, and until then, bye bye!